Hi team, this is Chris Abraham from Go Math. Today we're going to look at a very interesting problem that's on the General Curriculum Practice Test for teachers that are taking the Math MTELs. I think this can be applied for the different Math MTELs, not only the General Curriculum 03 Math subtest, but I think you could see something like this on the 53 and definitely the 47. So first, without further ado, let's take a look at this test, this problem here. It's number 34. I really like this problem. So I'm going to start, and I always start by reading the problem out loud. So it says here, a fuel tank was approximately 1/8 full. After adding $50 worth of fuel, the tank was 3/4 full. If the fuel costs P dollars per gallon, approximately how many gallons does the tank hold when full? Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, whoa, $50, that's a lot of money. No, seriously, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where do I begin on a problem like this? There's just so many unknowns. Well, we've said this before, but you always want to read this thing at least 2 times. So when you read it, you're gonna read it at least twice. And as you read it twice, you're gonna look for key details. So on the second time around, you're looking for details like this. There's a fuel tank and it's 1/8 full. So how can I represent that fact of a fuel tank being 1/8 full? Well, what I'm going to do a basic model drawing. In this model drawing, I'm going to try and represent a fuel tank. And I'm a very good artist. You don't have to be a good artist to do this, but I'm going to represent this as a fuel tank. This is, we'll say, 1 unit. Or 1 fuel tank. And that's equal to 100%. So this whole cube here is our 1 unit or one tank of that can fill up the gas, and it's going to represent 100% of all the gas we have in our car. Well, it just so happens that when we think about this 1 unit, we're going to be thinking about it in terms of eighths. I don't know why they said eighths, but we're starting with eighths. So I divide my 1 unit into eighths. And we're told that this unit here, is 1/8 full. So I'm driving my Camry. I don't have a Camry. I use public transportation. Subway, those kind of things. But anyways, if I did have a car, it wouldn't be a Camry. It would be like a Grand Torino or something really cool. But let's imagine my Grand Torino here. It's 1/8 full, and I'm going to now go to the next piece of information. After adding $50 worth of fuel, the tank was now 3/4 full. So here I go. It's 3/4 full. So if this is 1/8. 3/4, let's see, this would be 1/4. This would be another fourth, or we could say 1/2. And right about here would be 3/4. So if that's the case, why don't I actually label this 1/2 is the same as 2/4. If that's the case, then when I added the $50, it filled up all the way up to here. So this represents, $50, it filled up 5 spaces. 5 spaces, $50. That means each one of those spaces cost how much? Well, if every 5 space was $10, that would add up to 50. Now that connection tells us a lot of key information. For one thing, it tells us that each one of these eighths is worth $10 worth of gasoline. Which means this is also $10, and this is also $10, and this is also $10. So in fact, the whole tank, whenever I go shopping to fill up my Grand Torino, costs $80. Now there's a couple things I've been doing while I've been doing this problem. One, I'm drawing a picture. I use the unit square to help me think about my parts and my wholes, so I have an understanding of what a part of the whole is and what the whole thing is. And right now, this unit square has helped me find out that the whole tank costs $80. and each eighth of the tank costs $10. Another thing that you may be noticing, and I'm not making light of this, but I'm personalizing the problem. I'm imagining a car. I'm thinking of a Gran Torino, so I'm imagining what it would be like driving a Gran Torino and having to fill it up with gas. And by doing this, by making this problem a little bit more personal, I'm sort of making sense of it. Because a lot of times we're given these problems and we just don't make that connection enough to make sense. So watch how this connection helps me as I go further. Okay, so I found out the second sentence, and I used that to extrapolate and get that this whole tank costs $80 to fill up. Then it says, if the fuel costs P dollars per gallon, approximately how many gallons does the tank hold when full? Well, at the current moment right now, it's about $4 a gallon. So let me just substitute in, instead of P dollars per gallon, let me substitute in $4 per gallon. So if fuel costs $4 per gallon, approximately how many gallons does this tank hold? Well, if I know every week when I fill it up, it costs me $80, and I know that it's $4 per gallon, then I don't think it's too hard to jump and say, well, guess what? My Gran Torino, it can fit about 20 gallons of fuel. I think that's a fair way to think about it. And it makes sense for me, if I'm thinking about this, trying to make sense of this problem, to say $4, because P is a little bit abstract. But if I can get to this idea that it's once the 80 on top and the $4 per gallon on the bottom, then guess what? All I need to do is write the P here, because the P represents dollars per gallon, and I've actually solved it, because it's looking for the expression that gives me an approximate amount of gallons that this expression is going to represent. Let me say it another way. This is the answer. A is the answer. If we took 80 gallons, 80 divided by P, we would get the amount of gallons that this car can hold. And this is a tricky problem in so many different ways. But what's helped me to solve it, and I'll go through it again, is I draw the picture. I try and represent, the picture as a unit of 100%. That way I can represent the 1/8, represent the 3/4, find out what 100% is. Then I find out, a critical point that, if this is $80 worth, $80 is 100%, then I can sort of personalize the problem another way and look at the P as being, $4 worth of $4 per gas gallon. And then I just have $80 divided by $4 per gallon to find out how many gallons that are actually in this car. Okay, team, I hope you found this helpful. Once again, this is Chris Abraham from Go Math. This is a perfect problem that you could see on the general curriculum, the 47, the 51, the 53, and you may see these on other exams as well. But this one in particular, I think, is a really good MTEL one to study. So take a look at it, try it, and send in your questions. I'm happy to help. Thanks a lot. Oh yeah, everyone, there's going to be a workshop coming up in Harvard Square for an upcoming exam this summer, the July exams, and you're more than welcome to attend. You can go to the website gomath.com and find out more about the workshops or the classes or the one-on-one tutoring. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Let's dance and